Hi everybody, welcome back to Level Uploading, Fight Feelings, Face Facts with yours truly, Shay Shay. When I tell y'all I am so tired, but I knew that I had to go ahead and get a video out. You know, I at least try to post once a week, and tired or not, I am definitely always going to try to make sure that I get content out to you guys. I have some amazing stuff in the works that's actually going to be happening soon, so I'm really excited, but I'm not going to share. I'm just going to pop out with the pop out. Y'all will see when y'all see. But today's episode on fighting feelings and facing facts is going to be revolving around how transactional and performative this world has become. Now, actually, let me get my phone. I want to read the definition to you of what performative is and also what transactional is. So let me see 1 second. Pull it up. It's like crazy to me because I don't know. Performative. So performative is relating to or of the nature of dramatic or artistic performance. So that's one way. And then another definition says being or relating to an expression that serves to affect a transaction or that constitutes the performance of the specified act by virtue of its utterance. So that's performative, and I'll give you the layman's Shay version of that once I get done. So then transactional. So the definition is relating to exchange or interaction between people, relating to the conducting of business, especially buying or selling. So, said all that to say, this world has become so performative and so transactional that it's almost to the point where you don't know what is genuine anymore. And as you are leveling up, you yourself have to almost kind of conform to it. Not really, but like you have to make sure that you're getting something in exchange for your energy and your time, but also figuring out how to be genuine and actually be compassionate and show up for people, if that makes sense. So, you know, a major thing about my podcast is about holding space, having boundaries, finding your voice, making sure that you get a return on your investments. And as much as I might, you know, frown upon how transactional the world is, in real life, that's just kind of how it has to be. If it's not that way, then you become a martyr. So I think that transactional has such a broad scope that it's so very easy to kind of, you know, you can apply it to a lot of different things. For me, when I say transactional and performative, especially when I put the two together, my beverage. I've been talking all day, so my mouth is actually done for right now, but I digress. When I say performative and transactional, I'm really just talking about, like, we have a city girl mentality. We have the Kevin Samuels mentality. We have the red pill mentality out here. We have the man versus woman mentality. We have the friendships based off of aesthetic, friendships based off of being baddies. My friends are baddies. It's like you can't do anything without getting something from it. I don't know that it's necessarily a bad thing that it's that way, but I definitely have noticed that it has made everything so convoluted. You don't know if someone is doing something for you out of the kindness and the goodness of their heart, or if they're using their actions as some kind of warped manipulation tactic. You know what I mean? And so I'm gonna pull this down a little bit, y'all, just a little bit. I'm sorry. Please don't go all the way down and show my goodies. Okay, that's better. But yeah, I feel like the world is one big barter farmers market almost. Like, it's crazy. So for instance, I've been seeing like these different TikToks. People of course nowadays record everything, and although I create content and I record certain things, you will not find me. I'm not the woman that is on a date recording you. I'm not the one that's going to be on every little thing recording you. And that's why you guys have never seen me do a vlog or anything like that. I'm learning to be in the moment. You know, I've learned to be in the moment and take up the experiences and be present. So when it comes to things like that, I TikTok is just not my move. No shade to them, but as far as what I personally like to do, I feel like, okay, I'm sorry y'all, just one more time. I just don't want it to go too low. Okay, nothing's showing. Okay, we good. But I don't know, TikTok isn't my thing. And none of the previous ones were my things. RIP Vine, Triller, no, none of that was ever my cup of tea. And that's no shade to the platforms, just not my thing. But I've been seeing people like going on dates, and the guys are just expecting, like, not just like having an expectation, but actually voicing the expectation of, okay, I did this, so now what I'm gonna get, or I paid this bill, so now what do I get? I'm sorry, my allergies are killing me right now. Tennessee summers. But you know, you have the women that's like, okay, well, you want to be up under me, you want my time, what you finna pay, what bill you finna pay, what restaurant you finna take me to, what 5-star restaurant, what 5-star hotel. Like, you can't even get to know people these days. And I don't just mean romantically, I mean like friendships. Like, I brought up the baddie thing, the TikTok where I saw a lady talking about she wished she had more baddie friends. She wished she had more friends that could get the caliber of men that she could get. And you know, social media dragged us all up and down TikTok, Twitter, Facebook streets, okay, as they should. But she's just voiced what I feel like a lot, she just voiced what a lot of people actually feel internally and just never say. And so it's like you can't tell if the men that you're trying to pursue you are trying to actually pursue you, or if they're just out to, like, okay, let me get myself together. The men are trying to pursue you, they're actively pursuing you, but their pursuit is performative. They have no liking to you. They have no liking to what you would bring to the table. They actually don't even care to see what you bring to the table. It's more so about, hey, okay, I know that if I do these acts, if I take her out to this 5-star thing, I let her post a picture of me on Instagram, and I put some money on her car note and fill up her gas tank, I know that if I just do whatever actions quickly that she wants, I have a right to her, I have a right to her body, and she better make it snappy, because if she doesn't, someone else will. And on the flip side, we have the women like, well, homeboy, if you ain't talking about no money, you can get out my face. It's like, it's so hard. And honestly, as a single woman now, I have been single since like around Thanksgiving time. So yeah, I've been single since like December, let's just say beginning of December. And the dating pool, the friendship pool, they all have a little bit of urination in it, maybe some fecal matter, possibly. Everyone is performative. I actually have had experiences somewhat recently. Of course, I won't say any names of who, but I have people that offer you certain things or pretend to show up, but they don't really mean it. And the thing about me is I'm not really a person to call their bluff. I have started doing that, but I know myself and I know that I'm a person of my word. And so when other people do not keep their word to me, it's a big deal. And also I feel like when I don't keep my word, I need people to know that it's a real reason, because of how much I always keep my word. My word is bond, you know, I'm a woman of my word. So like having folks like performatively say like this is what a friend would say, especially when they know that I'm the type of woman who would not ever take them up on it or inconvenience them or be a burden, which is something that I'm learning, that I need to stop thinking that everything that I need help with or want to do is a burden, because there are people that will help you, and be genuine about it if you speak up. And also sometimes you can get help, and even if it's not genuine, you can still get help, and at the end of the day your needs were met in that sense, and the person got whatever ego boost they needed from that to make them feel like they showed up for you and helped you. To me, it's kind of like a win-win, especially when you're pouring into other people, into their you know, into their life and into their endeavors. But I don't know, I kind of feel like I have people in my life, and I always attract these kind of people, and I need to really figure out what that means, because a lot of times they say that you attract what you are, and I don't personally feel like I exude these characteristics, but of course I'm biased. But I have people that come into my life and they just say the right thing. It's like, oh my god, let me know if you need anything. Oh, I can do this, I can do that. And not even just like friends, not even just romantically, like family, co-workers, random people on the street. Like, it's a thing, because I think people get the sense that I'm not going to call their bluff. I'm not a needy person. I know that my energy doesn't speak damsel, although sometimes I wish it did. I be trying, y'all. I be trying. Even my damsel don't really hit even my damsel energy don't really be hitting like it's supposed to. I'm not gonna hold you, but I feel like people know that I'm not gonna really take them up on it, and so they performatively say the right things to falsify this level of goodness. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm a good friend, or oh, I'm a nice person, or oh, you know, I'm always helping someone. Like, no, you're always saying that you're gonna help someone. How many people have you shown up for? Or you're always the person that's kind of like, oh, why you didn't tell me? I could have did that, you know what I'm saying, after the fact. Like, come on now, stop playing with me. You ain't gonna have me looking crazy, okay? And that's me speaking out of my ego. And that's another thing that, you know, ego is a hot topic right now. Shout out to Lauren London. She had an amazing interview on Angie Martinez in Real Life podcast, and it was dope to watch. But we need to dive deeper into ego, and I think I might do a couple different episodes about ego and how it plays a part in not only your relationships but also in your leveling up and in your healing. I think that a lot of good conversation that she brought up was a good segue into some of those things that I've already kind of experienced myself. Not to get off the topic. So this world is so performative and so transactional. It's to the point where everyone has they're doing for you. You know, like you see on TV shows, or like there's a butler, or not a butler, but like a bellboy or something at a hotel. And yes, it is customary to tip, for sure, absolutely, but it's not required to tip. And so he's going above and beyond, and mind you, his job is to be a bellboy. Like, you literally signed up for this job, and I'm not trying to be you know, down talking to the service industry. I have been a part of the service industry. I understand how hard it is, but it's like you signed up for this, bro. Like, so they're going above and beyond, but honestly they're just doing their job. And then they're like, no problem. So it's like, it's hard to tell. Are you doing this because you want to help me as a guest at your establishment, as a guest in your, you know, facilities? Or is it, let me fiend niceness, let me fiend compassion, let me fiend care, let me fiend empathy, so that I can get my desired results of whatever that desired result might wind up being. My lighting just changed. And so, to me,
and she didn't speak.
Child, I will throw this remote. Y'all don't want me to throw this remote, do y'all? Anyway, I feel like we need to fight the feeling of being performative. If you are actually a nice person, if you are actually a genuine person, if you actually want to help someone, do that. But don't just say it because it's the nice thing to say. Like, I have gotten out of the habit of volunteering myself. I used to be so good about this. Like, I would volunteer myself so much, so quickly. Like, oh, you need me to bring something? Like, not necessarily because I wanted to do it, or not even necessarily that I didn't want to do it, but just out of habit, out of someone had a need, I could fulfill it, why not do it? But ultimately, I put myself in a lot of situations where I was doing stuff that I didn't want to do, stuff that was actually very much an inconvenience to me, very much a hindrance to me, possibly a burden to me, which is totally different from a sacrifice. A burden and sacrifice is different, and we could talk about that another day. But yeah, I was doing stuff that was taken away from my life source, my finances, you know, just taking L's left and right, just off the performativeness that I was activated in and living in, of this is what I'm supposed to do. Oh, my friend needs this, let me be the first one to jump on it. First of all, I'm not your only friend, I'm not your only cousin, I'm not your only sister, I'm not your only, well, my sister, I am her only sister. But you know what I'm saying, like, there's other people that you can go to, and I don't have to bear the burden every single time. Now, of course, as a person who cares about somebody, you're going to want to help them. You should be wanting to help them. You should want them to help you, and vice versa. But you don't have to be the go-to person all the time where they don't even try to inconvenience their other friends. I had a friendship like that. I had a few friendships like that where things that didn't make sense, why I was being the one in a place of servitude, let's say, for lack of a better word, that's the top of my head. It didn't make sense, but I was the go-to person. I don't have to ask anybody else to help me with anything because Shay's gonna do it. I know she's gonna do it because she always does it. And if she doesn't do it, I'm going to throw a hissy fit, or I'm gonna, you know, say she's a bad friend. And then Shay, operating within her trauma and her abandonment issues, she's gonna renege and say, you know what, okay, cool, let's do it, because Shay doesn't want to be left. Baby, if you knew me back then, you do not know me now. I promise you. The least of my worries is who is leaving my life. That is the least of my worries. I'm more worried about preparing myself for what's coming into my life, and what is being aligned in my life, and what's the next level of my life. People leaving, to me, people leaving my life, especially if it's something petty, that is the sign of my next level is coming soon. I really feel that way. My abandonment issues are baby, you can leave. I am fine. How can you be lonely in a room with God? How can you be lonely in a room with God? I'm not lonely. I'm not abandoned. You can't forsake me because you don't have the strength to do that. You don't have the power to do that. Now, what you can do is remove yourself from out of my path, so that I can get to my next adventure, you can do that if you're a hindrance to me. But yeah, I don't have that fear of abandonment anymore. So I know now that I don't have to be performative. So when I offer somebody to help them or to do something or to show up for them, I know without a shadow of a doubt that it's something that I want to do. It's something that I can comfortably do. It's something that is not going to burden me. It might be a sacrifice. It might be a little inconvenient, but it's not going to burden me to do it. And in this world now, it's so hard to know who is really being genuine. You know, people throw rocks and hide their hands, or they say keep your enemies close, and they do that. Like, they literally do that. They will keep their enemies close. They will pop back up and they will stay as close to you as they possibly can to have access to you, to keep an eye out on you, to watch what you're doing, things like that. And just being completely honest, it's tiring. I don't ever want to make paranoia a thing, especially on my podcast, but I can honestly say these times right now that we're living in, and how everything is like progressing yet regressing simultaneously, it's a weird world. And I honestly find myself kind of paranoid sometimes. Like, I have to check myself about it, because it's like, at the end of the day, these people don't have any power over me. They don't control my destiny. They don't control where I go. So even if they are set out to, you know, sabotage or to harm or trying to manipulate me in some way, anything that I do or don't do is up to me, and anything that happens is up to God. So I don't really have to worry about that type of stuff. Worrying about that is pointless. At the end of the day, what's meant to be will be, and what's going to happen is going to happen. And anything sent towards me is going to be the doing of God, and it'll be for my betterment. So I would like to, I know I have went on a couple of tangents. I just want us to fight the feeling of being performative. I want us to face the fact that we don't have to do things that we don't want to do just because they sound good. We don't have to accept words and word salad and empty promises as, you know, real genuine compassion and empathy. We have the ability to discern, and a lot of times we ignore that, but we have that, and it is definitely and absolutely our job to nurture it, pay attention to it, and make the best set of decisions based on that. Yes, you should get something for what you're giving. Reciprocity is important. No one wants to keep pouring from their cup and getting nothing. I would never sit here and say that. But to do quid pro quo, I can't talk today, y'all. Sheesh. To do okay, quid pro quo. But to do quid pro quo, that's the best we got. Okay, y'all know what I'm saying. Quid pro quo. I'll put them up. Whatever. It's just, it's unethical, and it removes the integrity out of a lot of different situations. And that's why, you know, a lot of employee handbooks, laws, bills and stipulations go against that, because it's manipulation and it takes away the authenticity of a situation. Just like if you go in your employee handbook, I'm pretty sure they'll say no taking gifts from anybody, you know, no taking gifts from anybody. Because now, by doing so, you're almost signing a contract. You know, you're accepting huge gifts. Just like the I cannot talk. I'm so tired. We almost there, sis. We almost there. Whew. The basketball players, like the basketball player, or just the athletes in general, like not even just the basketball players, the athletes in general, like, bro, they can't, the scouts, they can't come out and buy them a Ferrari, because if you accept a Ferrari, you're basically telling the scout, hey, I'm going to go to your school, and you haven't made your decision up yet. So you can't do the I watch your back, you watch mine when it comes to life. You have to come from a genuine place, because ultimately, if you don't, you will regret it. You will be having all these expectations and all these unsigned agreements. Crazy to say, but all these unsigned agreements that honestly don't serve you, because you have to figure out a way to make everything serve you while still maintaining, this is the confusing part, you have to figure out a way to let everything serve you while still maintaining your genuineness, your kindness, and your philanthropy, your giving. You don't want to be a person that can only do what others are doing for you, but you shouldn't be a person that doesn't ever expect people to do for you when you do so much for them. It's very confusing. This world is very confusing. These times are very confusing. The way people handle themselves and the way people approach relationships in all genres of relationships is very confusing. So I'm not surprised that this would be no different. I just implore you to please try to think about life as yes, I'm doing something for someone, but I don't need to do it for them to do what I want them to do, or I don't need this to be used as a coercion tactic to manipulate them into future endeavors and future things that I want them to do, or future you know, like, I don't like people pulling my puppet strings, and I don't have no puppet strings. I don't have puppet strings. And so I feel like learning to balance out your boundaries, learning to not come from a place of being performative and just doing what you're supposed to do, but actually doing the things that your heart is compelled and your spirit is guiding you to do. I think when you actually get a grasp on those things, you can really be who you are. And honestly, the real question is, who are you when no one's in the room? Who are you when no one's clapping for you? Who are you when no one's showing up for you? That's who you actually are. That's who you actually are. And I really just feel like figuring that out is half the battle. You guys, I think this video was all over the place. I'm really exhausted, and I might re-record this. I don't know, but for now, that's all I got. It's time for me to lay down, okay? I hope you all have a good weekend, a good week, a good whenever you're listening to this, and I will talk to you guys in the next episode. Bye.